Hello everyone, and welcome back to Witch in the Woods. We are down here on level 0 of the well, and you can see there's been a fair few changes. So, opened up the areas now, so we've got a digital miner here. I would have built this on camera, but good god is this a grind to craft. I even had all of the materials necessary to make this thing, and it was just such a pain. But basically, I can go into the config and tell it the different things I want it to find, as well as the radius and all sorts. And it will then mine it. It will even silk touch them if I want to. And I've just got a colony generator powering this right now. I'll hook it up to the main power supply later. The floor is looking different. I really want to go for the heavily dilapidated view. There's even a bit of water above here, so occasionally we get drips. Not 100% on the floor. The way that the chisel blocks mix with the regular ones isn't quite perfect. Might work on that a bit more later, I don't know, I'm not sure. Meanwhile, we've also got Nether and Soda's crops, so now we can pretty much make almost anything out of Applied Energistics personally, like, just forever. We also have gold crop, which means we now have more or less the crops for everything that we need in Witchery that we can't, like, already grow in Witchery. Also have blaze, so yay, all of the powders. And I moved the 4 spawners that I ended up with into this room over here, where they are really not happy with me, are they? There are a grand total of 4 grinders around this thing, and I tried my best to make it look like one big dungeon in there. So there's right down to the cobblestone walls and everything. I think it looks lovely. I just love this idea of sometimes you'll find a spawn, like a 4 spawner dungeon, and you will get wrecked. Like, I could go in here in full armor right now and I would be screwed. But fortunately, I haven't died yet, so going to continue that trend. Let's see how we're doing here. So, a couple stacks of Nether Essence, a few stacks of Sodas, working on gold, whole ton of Blaze, whole ton of Essence. A lot of Essence. Don't know if there's any more seeds I'll need, but I kind of want to get Platinum seeds, just to make Enderium a lot easier to make. And, speaking of Enderium, working on the engine. So, this is more or less a revised version of the engine that we had in the last well, except this time we've got a nice vertical visual display. We apparently still have power, which is strange, because there's nothing in here. And it's running off the engine generators as well, and I'm gonna have to do some wiring at the back here for it to refuel itself. But I came up with a really nice design for that, so you'll get to see that on camera later. Meanwhile, the Applied Energistics system now A exists, and oh, yep, it just now just realized it's running out of power, and B is being built to destruction. So we've got this nice big bank of drives. Looks really nice, I'm liking that already. Haven't put all of the drives together just yet, because as you can see over here, we do not have the Mac in place, so I have to handcraft everything. So let me stick a few in here. Haven't managed to find any dark iron yet, so it's gonna be a little while before I get this thing auto-feeding. But there we go. 4 generators seems to be enough to get things to work nice and neatly. Let me see. So, we've got a fair bit in here. This is currently mostly just the valuables. So the stuff like diamonds and the like. Yeah, a fair few things. 305 dye, 322 ghast essence now. I finally managed to go and get some more ghasts. So, that is all well and good. Processing. We are working today on the immortality machine, so that's back there a little bit. As you can see, I have worked on getting Applied Energistics to work with Witchery. Somebody asked me how to get it working with the kettle. Well, the kettle first has like 4 different inputs that it needs. So over here, I've got a fluid duct from an aqueous accumulator down there, feeding it constantly with water. I've got a export bus at the back there that is pumping in clay jars. You need, well, not clay jars, potion bottles, water bottles, empty bottles, whatever. You need about a stack of them, so that's just constantly shooting them out or cracking them if it has to, and you have to make sure that it's got all of those in, regardless of how many you're pumping out. I don't know why it's coded like that, but it is. And then I've got the ME interface up here, so I will give that all of the materials I need to, say, make redstone soup, which is going to be really handy, because that thing is a pain. And then when there's actually anything to pull out of it, such as when you've given it all the ingredients and it's made something, it gets pulled out by this import bus on the other side. So, completely hands-free brewing. Lovely little thing. This has expanded a fair bit, and ooh, got some disco ore back there. So I got a crusher and a combiner, because I had to make them for a few things, and an osmium compressor. Most, like, these three machines all purely exist to make the digital miner. That's how annoying it was. Let me see, I'm not going to do anything new in the thermal expansion line. I'm planning on hitting up the mechanism, or tripling, at least tripling. But for now, we're just doubling, so it's not a huge issue, because we've got the miner to just grab more stuff. The Witch's oven has some very particular ways of being automated. So on the bottom is where we are pumping in coal and clay jars. It has to be the bottom. I've tried every other side of this. On the top is where things come in. The fuel efficiency of a witch's oven when it's got coal is approximately 11.5 items. Bit of a pain in the automation department, but it works. So I'm generally just going to tell it, if you need any particular thing from burning a sapling, give me 11 of that sapling. And the distillery, you can pump in pretty much everything at once. Bear in mind you need power from an altar. You can just about see it back there at the moment. And then you import from the side and it works just fine. It will also put things in the right slots if you give it the two things, so that's helpful as well. I haven't automated this just yet, because it's a bit of a pain when you tell it to make something that needs something crafted first. And here is our interface at the back here. This just comes off straight from the drives right now, so not much to worry about. But yeah, this interface is where we're going to be making our immortality machine later this episode. And that just leaves, I believe, one more room. And it's looking a lot like home. So, yeah, we have the inverted sky blocks, we have the sandstone, we have the cobblestone, we have the nether block underneath all of this stuff, including the etched piece there. I have been working back here with a bunch of farming, so this altar is presently at 4,280, which is fantastic because we need that to make infusion, and as you can see, my infusion is running kind of low. Has been for quite a while. Eep. So that is the base progress. Witchery, with regards to that, if you noticed downstairs, so I go back down to processing, you can see that we have 2 filtered fume fuddles now, so that means that we have been making charged tombstones. I actually need to make another one, I believe, for what I have in mind. Probably a few more, actually, come to think of it, so joy. These increase the efficiency of how it converts saplings into the different essences, so thankfully that means this is now pretty much max. You might be able to put another one on top. I haven't tried, I've just gone for this kind of plus sign arrangement right now. You might be able to have another one on top of the oven and it will still look. I don't know, I haven't tested that. This we'll be discussing later. And otherwise, I have an ent twig from killing an ent from trying to harvest a whole ton of rowan saplings. Annoyingly, in this texture pack, the rowan saplings look identical to oak saplings. A little bit of a pain. But we have a whole ton of stuff, whole ton of foul fume, we have a whole ton of mandrake root, more than a stack actually of mandrake root, some mutandis extremis, some water otter shoot globes, I have some slime balls now, 3 witches' hands from dealing with the big dungeon there. We can craft skeleton skulls from the skeletal essence, so that's something positive. And I have a bunch of Spanish moss, but I'm not presently growing it just yet. We will be later. And I also have a circle talisman, because I needed it to pick this up when I was actually, like, decorating and renovating. So, witchery progress. Done. Anti-death machine. So, we are going to need, first and foremost, an automated crafting table. Now, you might remember these from way back in the days of Carpenter Station. I used these a lot because they were really awesome and really helpful. They're a little bit finicky, but, let me see, if I just type in crafting, that should bring it up. Yes, there you are. Automatic crafting table Mark III. So you can make it from an auto workbench, part of Buildcraft Factory, or you can make it from a regular crafting table, which is a little bit more gold. We're going to go with that anyways, because it's cheap. Now, the way that these work is that you give them a recipe, and then you tell them, you give them a recipe, and it will constantly try to craft it inside of its inventory. Let's see, we need 2 for the sides, and 8 for a chest. Boop. as well as 4 for a crafting table. Okay, and 2 cobble, I've got that. Gold nuggets. How many do we have in here? 1. I think we had a couple more upstairs in the witchery chest. Yep, perfect. So let me grab that. Okay. Skeletor77 has joined the game. I have no idea who that is. That's unusual. Perhaps you know. I don't. I'm sure somebody does. Surprisingly enough, I don't know everything about the Yogs, so yeah. Okay, automatic crafting table Mark 3. So, you can plump things into all of the sides and the bottom. You pull out of the top. This red line is, I believe that's the bottom access, but it's also where things go that aren't going to get used up. And you can tell it to do all sorts of things. We are going to be telling this all about how to make... well, we're going to be using these to bind the poppets to me, specifically. So let's plonk that there for the moment. Add that there. Okay, so we need an item translocator to come out of this interface and into the crafting table, and then we need another set of translocators to move created poppets from in here into a poppet shelf, assuming that there is space for it. So for that, we're going to need a poppet shelf, and we're going to need some translocators. Now again, we don't have the Mac set up just yet, so this may take a moment. But fortunately we have all of the resources that we will need for it. So let me see. It's going to be 1 for there, so it's 6 iron each. My iron supply is a little low because I'm just not processing it at the moment. That's electrum, that's gold. Going to need 2 of those. 8 redstone, although which actually more like 10. There we go. And 2 ender pearls, I think it was. Alright. Easily done. Practically on crafting duty already. Okay, and we're going to need 6 wood. I sound like I'm giving cooking instructions in the most anally retentive way ever. Okay, pistons, go. Oh, wait, that's the gold. What am I doing? Dang it, Darkcraft, you're messing me up. Translocators, go. Okay. So, that gets us most of our translocators that we're going to need. Let's just stick one over here. So we're going to be telling this interface to always have... a tag lock of me and a death protection poppet that is presently unbound, that is to say fresh from crafting, in the export config here. Then it will try to keep them always here. And they'll be using the regulator here to make sure that it is always keeping at least one of both of those in here, so as to say whether it's always ready to craft one. Since they don't stack, this will always only ever try to craft the one of them. And let's just stick this on top, and then we can put our poppet shelf next to it. So, if you don't know how poppets work already, they are little items that prevent certain things. In our case, we're looking for generic death, and it actually turns out to be extremely powerful in that it stops generic death events. So it stops like most things. So we're going to need 4 tunestones, and we're going to need 4 netherbrick and a bit of green wool. Not a problem at all. Now, poppets only work if they are on your person, or if they're in a poppet shelf like this. Now, poppet shelves also load the chunk that they're in, so that's an extra bit of love. Let's see, diamond, diamond, diamond. Oh, there you are. So we're going to need 4 of these, and we're going to need 4 whiff of magic. There they are. As well as 4 doses of lava. Now I've blocked off my original access here, so I'm just going to go around here a bit. There is thankfully a fairly substantial lava pool through here. There is also a few madams who apparently have gotten very lost. Yeah, 3 different coven witches just wandering around in the caves, managed to get themselves stuck down here. I don't know why, but they did, so not going to worry. Also, the dungeon is pretty dang loud right now. That's because there is no power presently set up to take, to actually, like, keep the grinders running. So they're just spawning willy-nilly. I'm thinking I'll have a drawbridge from Tinker's Construct to just extend a line of glowstone in there, just sort of dead simple off switch for it. But for now, I don't actually have access to the materials necessary to make that. Ow. I keep doing this. Why do I keep doing this? Whoop. Okay. Nope, sorry ladies, you're stuck here for now. We'll see to you later. I'm sure you'll be very useful. But yeah, because you need a smeltery to make the drawbridge, and I don't really have a place for it, nor do I particularly want to do that again. Me and Tinkers. Love-hate relationship. Right. So now we need some nether brick. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I only have green stained clay, but we can definitely make some green wool. Because if I... hang on, I'll just use the crafting table. Ooh, yeah. If I get 3 dye essence, and I have no other crafting location, damn, dye essence like that, dye essence can make us cactus green, which is fantastic. There's a few things it can't make, but pretty much 90% of the actual, like, dyes you can make inside of it, so we can get ourselves a bit of green wool very cheap. Cheap and renewable dyes. Okay, 1 puppet shelf. Now, we're going to be telling the ME system to keep a certain, like, volume, a sort of a static volume, if you will, of death protection and such poppets in the system. So the ideal is that there'll always be something here as long as the ME system is running, and the ME system should always be running as long as we've got ender pearls, and as long as we've got things running the ender pearls, then we've got the farms running to create more ender pearls. So it's a sort of self-sustaining system. And because this is a chunk loader, this area at least will always be loaded. So huzzah, huzzah. People wondered how I'm going to be keeping this place safe. Well, I'm mostly going to be using the staff focus of warding from Foundcraft once we get into that. But for the time being, there's no one malicious that would dare to try against me. So for now, we're okay. Okay, so now we need a death protection poppet. Still got my little poppet here. So, death protection poppet is 1 dwarf protection. Yeah, protects me from dwarf. From dwarfs. It keeps mild chills away. Okay, death protection poppet is one of the more expensive ones. I think armor or tools might be the most expensive. No, they look like they're equally expensive actually. This is a diamond vapor, not a reek. So. Armor is slightly more expensive than tool, but the drop of luck is what makes these guys really expensive, and that's what I needed to get ghast farming for. We can now also farm diamonds, so that's helpful. So we need a drop of luck, 4 gold nuggets, and diamond vapor. All of this is on farm status right now, so that is fantastic. So let me see. I have 1 drop of luck, and do I have any diamond vapor? No, I don't appear to. But I do have oil of vitriol here somewhere. There you go. So we'll just grab a diamond and stick it into the distillery. Okay. This is one of the things that we need to tell the interfaces to actually make. I need some clay jars. I don't think I have any. At least not inside the machine, because they're all getting pumped out into this as long as they can be. Okay. No, looks like that's all of them. Oh, I've got this the wrong way around, and I've got this in the wrong thing. There we go. There we go. Okay, perfect. So just while that's working away, next up is tag locks. Now, a tag lock is a little piece of blood that is directly attached to a specific player. The 2 ways you can get them is directly from the player, or from from their bed, as long as they're online. If they're not online, then it doesn't actually work. But the actual tag lock kit itself is perfectly fine, and we actually presently have a bed, so yay. Ooh, people are probably wondering, I did a little bit with Kieran Dave, and he got me kind of started on Ars Magica, so we're going to give you one for the Ender Infusion. Look, I have no idea what that entry is, because I've got a few of those entries by now, and I have no idea what they are just because I don't have the compendium. He just gave me this and said cast it, and I did, because surely Kieran Dave wouldn't do anything to me. I probably need to get numbers going on down there in the HUD. Like, you can see down at the bottom of my screen there's the little signs. I need numbers. I have no idea what that means. Somebody's filming, apparently, and ooh, Moon. I haven't seen you in so long. It's so good to have these sky blocks back. Lost all of them after the locomotive attempt to get over. Anyways, so yeah, this is just Blink, or Mirror Walk, rather, which is basically a blink, and it allows me to move through walls. So if I... Yep, we are down on level 1 now, from level 3, so it's a little long. I kind of prefer to use the Staff of Travelling, but in the meanwhile, they're both cheaper than using my Witch's Hand, because my protection, my actual, like, infusion power is basically dead. But that gets us our taglock kit, so let's tell the system to keep one of those in. And I'm going to grab some diamond nuggets to tell this regulator to only have one, or else it'll just pull out everything. There we go, we do have 2 diamond nuggets, perfect. So if I just come down here, whack that there, set it to there, we want 1 taglock of me. Now you may be wondering, if I can only get it off beds or the person themselves, how am I going to be getting the taglocks in general? How am I going to be getting, like, a big, vast supply of them so that the system can continue to craft all of this stuff? I am going to have a bit of a large volume. I can't craft them, like, from nothing. They don't come from thin air. There's no way to do that. But it will be possible for this system to have, like, several hundred of them. And the way of that is... Let me see. Is it a rose? I think it's a rose. Nope, it's not that one. Where are you? Rose Reds, Blood Rose. I think the Blood Rose is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's a little mutated plant from Witchery that if anyone walks on it, it immediately takes a taglock off them. And from there you can automate it so that I can have a few Blood Roses along here, I can stand on them, and machines will automatically be taking my taglock basically as soon as it is created. So, if there's like... I can have like pistons, just closes off when I've got enough in the system or something, but... Basically, as long as I'm stood here, the system is gaining a whole ton of taglocks very quickly. And the Blood Rose is also, like, if you're remotely in the block. So, I will be standing, like, right here, and I'll be getting 2 every single cycle. So, all the better. So, it looks absolutely wonderful, and I'm going to be having a lot of fun building that. Let's see, we get a gold ingot. And we shall close this off by crafting our first Death Protection Poppet. Evidently I've been running long a bit here, so I'm going to cut this into 2 episodes, and I shall catch you all next time. And that does mean you get an extra few days on the homework assignment, which, by the way, was 30 Days of Night if you have forgotten. Go and enjoy it. There is blood, and a lot of blood, and teeth. So, you know, enjoy! Next time.